Welcome back to Whiteboard Wednesdays with Evolve Digital. This is episode 2, and if you don't know what Whiteboard Wednesdays are, we just kind of break down every little bit about web management here at Evolve Digital and what you can do to really set your website apart from the others. And so today we're going to be talking about SEO, and more specifically, how do you rank higher on the Google search engines? So Google and Bing and all those other search engines are businesses, just like you and me. And what that means is they're trying to deliver the best value to their customer in order for the customer to keep returning to their site. So the whole goal, the whole business model of a search engine is to connect their customer base with information that really matters to them. So if you over here have a site all about dogs, then these customers, if this customer searches grease pan, obviously they're not searching for dogs. But if this person searches something about related to dogs, then the search engine ideally should connect your content with the customer. So this is pretty self-explanatory, but now we're going to dive into further details to really niche down onto this concept. So there's 3 things that the search engines are going to be looking at to know if your content is either quality or hot garbage. There's a couple key characteristics that the search engine will be looking for. So last week we talked about performance. We talked about how to make your website load as quickly as possible, how to make it give only what you need to the end customer who's searching for dogs, right? So today what we're going to be talking about is backlinks. And then the third part, which we won't get into today, is content. So today we're going to only be talking about backlinks. All right, so for the example of this tutorial, I'm going to be talking about what matters to us here at Evolve Digital, which is web development. So for example, I'm a web development company and I want to boost my online presence. Well, I've worked with a couple different companies in the past. So let's say one of them is a prominent magazine. So this prominent magazine needed a website. They came to us, we built them a custom website. So now, in order to let everyone else know that we were here kind of thing, it's like leaving little flags of we were here, we were here, we were here. And so for a web development company, we're going to link to this site. So we're just going to add a little link in the footer, something like web development by Evolve Digital. And now that site is going to link to us. Now you got to remember that that site also has a lot of people linking to it because it's a great resource, right? It's a magazine site. Health, dogs, family, all kinds of different topics. They're all going to be linking back to that magazine site. So let's say for this example, this is a small magazine site and it has maybe 4 people that are linking to it. In reality, they probably actually have more than 100 links that are coming back to their site. Things that people have referenced or used in op-eds or just different things such as that. So all these resources are all saying, hey, this site, you can go here for some information. Now Google is going to know that, and they're going to see that this site is inherently valuable because everyone's saying, hey, look at this site. And so because of that, this site gets a score. So let's just make it super simple. Out of 100, let's say this site has a 70 out of 100, okay? It's got a 70% score. We call that the domain ranking or the authority on that place on the internet. Now, of course, we didn't just work with one site, we're working with multiple. We want our link to also go out everywhere because if our links are everywhere across the internet, they're all going to come back to us and give us a higher score as well. Let's say we did web development for a smaller business. Now, this smaller business is not exactly prominent. That's because it's just all they do is maybe create metal, right? Something like that. So there might be a couple suppliers that might be linking back to them, but for the most part, this page is all on its own. This domain score is only going to be 10% because there's fewer sites linking to it. But because we did work on this site, we're also going to link our little link into their site as well. Because every link that we push out to the internet is going to give us more credibility. Let's say Google does some fancy math and it says, okay, this one's 70%, this one's 10%. Obviously, we're linking to this. It's not like we inherently get the 70% right away. And we're linking to this. It doesn't inherently mean we're going to get 10% right away. I mean, as of right now, there's only 2 sites on the internet that are actually linking to us. So right now, our domain score is about, let's say, 20%. But the thing is, because this guy has a lot of credibility, maybe that bumps up the score a little bit. So let's say right now we're sitting at 30%. But now the more time that we spend online building more sites for different clients, the more we're going to be able to get our links onto multiple different sites. So now let's say we land a massive client who has a lot of credibility on the internet. So, I mean, it doesn't quite exactly work this way, but let's say their domain ranking score was 99%. They're about as best as they come. Like they're just like an absolute prominent site. We're talking something like Facebook almost level, like something that people use almost every day. If we were able to land a client like that, they have a lot of credibility. And because of that, that credibility will transfer to us. So now we have a lot of sites linking to us, but we have 2 sites that are quite prominent on the internet. That's going to boost our score by quite a lot. The more people who link to you, the higher your score will go. And the more authoritative people who link to you, even higher your score will go. If you're not a web development company, let's say instead you're a dog food producing company or something like that, that's going to be completely different. You can't just throw your links in random footers. So you want to be linking to sites that have to do with something in your niche or something with your local area. And so that's how you're really going to build credibility online. So let's change the example now to a dog food company. So we're no designers, we are developers at the end of the day. So this is the best dog food bowl I could make. I tried to design a dog, it didn't go so well. Moving on, so now let's say it's a dog food company, okay? And now let's say they're linking to, on a magazine article, something about dog food. In the magazine article, all about dogs, there's a link in there that is bringing them to this dog food supplier. Let's say they're the top 10 dog food suppliers in the lower mainland or something like that along those lines. The dog food supplier is now going to get a nice bump in their ratings. But now the dog food supplier, let's say they're local to Chilliwack, BC, a specific location, then let's say they sponsor an event that happens in Chilliwack. That's a great opportunity to build your credibility online, because when you sponsor events, typically they're going to add little links. Like let's say the Heritage Park Fair. If you were to sponsor that, you get a link on their site that will then send you back to the dog food site. And so while people might not be following that link, Google and all these search engines will be following this link, and they'll notice that you're active in the community, and then that's going to bump up your domain score as well. So you can work with local events and sponsor local events and local things that are going on in your community, embed a link, and it'll link back to you, and it'll give you even more credibility. And so let's say this local event community page, let's say it's actually not that big of a thing. Let's say it's only got like 20% cred, but that's still going to help boost your score. So let's say now you're at 25%. So our job as agency, a lot of times people ask us, well, it's great, I understand now how backlinks work. Can you do the backlink work for us? To that we say, no, we're not going to build the backlinks for you. And the reason for that is very specific. A, it's a lot of work, and it's probably not even worth your money to be paying us to go and find all these backlinks for you, because it'll just cost an arm and a leg in terms of man hours to complete, as well as you ultimately know what's best for your business. There's other old outdated methods that were called link farming. And now we're going to talk about the dangers of link farming. So link farming has to do with building a very credible star website page on the internet. But the thing is, it provides no value. It's not going to help the end users when they're searching. It's not going to do anything like that. All its purpose is for is to be like a very credible site with tons of people linking to it for no apparent reason. And then it, of course, links back to your site in order to make your site look amazing, because this link farm has a 1,000% domain score. It's just amazing. This link farm has every kind of like little obscure page on the internet linking to it. And it's going to give it a massive boost because it seems like it's got the most credibility on the internet. So what people used to do is they would pay these link farms to link back to them. Please link back to me because you have such a high domain ranking. So if Google was to look at the site, they'd say it's very valuable because it has so many people linking to it. And then when it's linking back to you, your value will immediately shoot up. Let's say your value all of a sudden goes from 0 to 100 real quick. What Google's also going to see, though, is the fact that when they actually take a look at this link farm, upon closer inspection, what are they going to find? When you open the doors, you're going to find a hot flaming pile of manure. And the reason why is because this link farm, it doesn't provide any value to the internet. It's just pages upon pages of just gibberish and links to other sites because the sites are paying them. When Google sees what's going on here, you're at very high danger because now they're going to adjust the way they see this link farm. It will go from 1,000% to negative 1,000% overnight. And because of that, because it's providing no value, now all of a sudden your link is implicated on that site. It's like taking down a crime ring. What ends up happening is Google's going to see that you're also linking to the site and it's going to dock you hard. Overnight, you're going to go from 100% domain ranking to negative 100. So this is very dangerous and something that some people need to know about because these get rich quick kind of schemes where people are saying, hey, I can boost you overnight. Always be wary of that kind of scheme because it usually is a link farm that they're entering you into. The important thing to note is that this takes time. This means that over time, you're going to slowly build more and more links in your community and in your niche, whether that be dog food suppliers, dog health, that kind of thing. You're going to slowly build more credibility online. So what you need to do is go out to various people who either apply to your location or your niche, and you need to start building links with them. And the more you do that, the more you're going to start building more credibility online. And success isn't going to happen overnight. Success is something that's going to slowly happen over time. So how do you get a link to a site? That's the last thing we're going to be talking about with these backlinks. The thing is, we don't know your industry. We don't know your niche. And while we could learn it and while we could make those relationships, you already probably have those relationships established as a business owner. So the how is honestly reaching out to your local influencer who's influential in the dog world and asking them to post an article, maybe paying them to post something with a link back to your site. So where does Evolve Digital fit in all of this? Well, we're here to just be your expert partner. We're here to help you along, to give you the tips that you need, such as like what we talked about today. But there's also other SEO tips, tricks, and solutions that we can do for you that will help your site as well. Like we talked about at the beginning of this video, SEO is really three parts. It's the content, it's the performance, and a lot of it is the backlinks. If you need help to know if your site is performant online or if it's lacking some things, you can contact us. We'll do an SEO checkup for you. And then you can work with us month by month, and we'll just keep on going in there, keep on checking if everything is good, keep on updating your content if needed, and just slowly making little tweaks and running ad campaigns and such like that. That's going to help build your credibility online as a established business here in Chilliwack, BC. So that's it for episode 2 of Whiteboard Wednesday. Like I said, if you haven't heard about the performance problem in SEO, go check out our episode 1. It's going to be super helpful. And yeah, see you next time.